Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Happy Monday, everybody. We're live on Twitch and also on YouTube. If you watch podcast, we'd appreciate it if you'd head over and watch ours. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live.
Who gets off today? The schools are off. By the way, my sons were so happy.
Are they off today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think every school's basically off.
Like sometimes it's like,
national. Banks are closed.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, it's two holidays. Is it two holidays today, or is it a dual holiday?
No, I think
it's Indigenous Peoples Day and Christopher Columbus's birthday.
Yeah, but they just said Indigenous people to erase the Christopher Columbus because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy, he did horrible things.
Well, is that gone? Is that gone now?
Well, they
Chris
don't say it. They
no
don't
more
say
Columbus?
Well, they're just like, oh, wow, this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Now, at the time, that was, I guess, standard practice, right?
You go and conquer. You go and you conquer.
But then, so you could say, like, oh, well, everybody was doing horrible things to human beings back then.
You can't look at what he was doing with a 2024 lens. Is that what you're saying?
But then, I guess, then...
It would be hard for me to stare at Christopher Columbus lopping off Indigenous people's hands while I'm wearing Crocs. I have on Crocs and a sweatshirt.
Yeah. So then, I guess society is like, well, this is not like saying certain words or what. This is just doing horrible things to other humans.
Yeah.
I mean, just
taking their stuff.
I mean, not even. I mean, just
killing them.
enslaving them all. Like,
and
then,
bad.
And then you're like,
oh, it's not his birthday. What is today then?
They just named it Columbus Day for.
And he was sailing for Spain, right?
Yeah, it was an accident.
He was Italian, but he was sailing for Spain.
Actually, found the Bahamas first.
Yeah, great place.
a lot of people
awesome
down there.
Place.
Yeah. He landed in Nassau.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to land in Nassau? I bet it was nothing like the way when we land there.
Oh, and he got those people too.
When we land there though, it's like Junkanoo boats and music. And when he landed there, do you think when he first landed there? I'm not talking about the old trope. You know the trope that you see of the boat pulling up to the island, and then the islanders that obviously know that you are colonial and they hate you.
No, they didn't even know. They never seen
hold on. I'm talking about the trope. I'm painting the trope.
Yeah.
Okay, so the trope is the boat is sailing in. It's got flying the Spanish flag or Denmark, right? The Danes or something, and it's coming in. And then the islanders know, the indigenous people, they know that you're going to colonize them and they hate you. Yeah. So the sea of spears.
Oh yeah, they start throwing
the wave of spears. And they're like, I've always but that's not, like you're saying, that's not what happened. It would have been like, whoa, that's a crazy looking boat. What is that? Is that aliens?
They thought they were gods of some sort. Yeah,
like what is that?
Yeah.
And then you pull up. I wonder if you're like, then it just all goes bad. Then it goes so bad.
Yeah. I mean, then you have Thanksgiving.
And it was just like that too.
Yeah.
It came together just like that. They're like, after all the atrocities, they're like, should we have a feast? Let's have a feast.
But the real killer was the disease. The disease just eradicated everything.
That was a good pivot.
Really, that was the problem. That kind of got the majority of the Native Americans.
Got them good.
Just eradicated like a whole nation.
Didn't we used to have a parade? Didn't we used to have like in New York? Wasn't it a big deal to have didn't they have a
Columbus Day parade?
Yeah, Columbus Day parade.
Well, they used to have the Columbus Day Regatta down in Miami, which I've told you about before. I was there as a young boy seeing a bunch of nude people. I remember
Columbus the biggest fall from grace we've had in our history books? Is he's the one? Because like when I was growing up, no Columbus, no us.
Oh yeah, you celebrate.
No Columbus, no America. And then I remember, I want to say like right around. And this is what cracked the egg, right? Right around, I want to say like third grade or something. I remember a teacher, she must have gone rogue, and she started teaching us about Amerigo Vespucci.
Oh, no, yeah. And I was like,
and that's who America's named after is Amerigo Vespucci. And then I'm like, hold on a goddamn second. What happened to old Chris? It's K, right? What happened to old Chris Clum? What happened to the Columbus? What happened to Big Columbus?
See, Amerigo
Vespucci, what the hell? What is this madness?
Amerigo's got better marketing on it because
he also has the name of a man with long hair, right? Amerigo Vespucci. What a great name.
You think there would be a lot more Amerigos around?
Yeah, it's a great name.
Yeah. Not that
bring
many
it
Amerigos.
Back. Let's make Amerigo great again.
You would think you'd see a lot more. There should be a lot more Amerigos in the NFL if you think about it.
Yes.
Like why
is
are
it
there,
Amerigo or America? I gotta look it up here. Hold on.
like Amerigo Jones?
That's a good name. Amerigo Jones is a fast.
That's a 1,300-yard season. Amerigo Jones. So I thought of something, and
please.
tell me if you
That's
think
what you
it's a
were
good
kind of
idea.
leaking to me a little bit earlier, and
Yeah.
I was like, it sounds like a pretty darn good idea.
And if any like municipalities or governments want to take this idea, you could take it.
Okay.
I have no time to put this together.
Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer for whom the Americas are named. Vespucci was born in Florence, Italy in 1444 and is best known for his voyages to the New World during the late 15th and 16th centuries.
So,
Chat room saying Amerigo is a baseball name. Ding, ding, ding. I think you win.
well, sports in general.
Yeah. Sports okay.
You know where I'm going.
Okay, back to this is Tom's.
Okay.
Is this born out of the hurricane a little bit?
Yes. So on Saturday,
okay,
I do my long run, right? And so I guess in the runner's world, I found this on social media and something from talking to people. They do 2 short runs and a long run.
Wait a minute. Do you have that magazine? That is a magazine. Isn't it Runner's World? Talk about a boring magazine. Oh my god,
yeah, it's horrible.
It's so boring.
It's nothing.
So boring.
Interesting at all. So I'm running around, and it's the first nice run morning of the year. To all the runners out there, they know.
I knew you were running. I knew. I was like, it was so nice outside. I was like, I hope he's running.
And it feels better running in nice weather.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows
a fact.
that. But so I'm seeing all the piles of debris that everybody has through the neighborhood, right? And I made myself quite a huge pile. I tried to put the majority in my front yard.
I made myself quite a huge pile.
I tried to put the majority in like black trash, like leave bags.
Yeah.
But
aren't you supposed to bundle your sticks?
Okay. So
which is called a fag, by the way.
Come on.
Look, this is an educational show. My daughter's here. I got to teach her the stuff.
So, in the middle of like all the trash bags,
is a bundle of sticks.
Well, I just started throwing like random sticks, and then the bigger logs.
You got lazy.
Yeah, I got lazy, and then I see other people have piles. Other people now, and this is brilliant marketing, by the way, for Home Depot. Congratulations to their marketing team. Home Depot, I guess, gave out a bunch of paper debris bags. Free.
To blow all over the neighborhood.
No, for free.
Free trash.
So people can put debris in the bags.
That is a good idea.
And then they're sitting everywhere, and then it's like big Home Depot, like the branding.
It's got that stupid cartoon Homer.
And I did run by them and be like, I should go by Home Depot.
So gotcha.
And I need an electric weed eater to work on my mother-in-law's house.
Get yourself a gas weed eater. Where do you get away from these electric stuff, you know?
Well, because the gas.
Enough is enough. You already have the guy on your show has an electric car. Shut up about it.
But the carburetor ends up breaking every time, and then I'm pulling.
I'm gas for life, brother. I'm gas for life, brother.
So, anyway, back to my idea.
Okay.
So, now I know that there are, and this, I'm not exactly sure how the trash and landfill pickups work, really.
I'm not sure,
and
that
I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah, nobody knows.
So, like I have like yard debris pickup on Wednesdays, right? But I believe is that a different crew than my garbage team?
Yeah.
Yes. So
for me it is. I can only speak of my experience. My yard debris men, my recycling, and my trash are all different guys.
Okay. So yeah, I know my recycling.
Are you trying to eliminate jobs? We could make it one team. We could make it one team.
No. I
like the way you're thinking like a big corporate Tommy.
I'm curious to just how it works because this leads into my idea. Because I don't know if the yard debris pickup people or in my neighborhood or if it's different for every county. It probably is.
It is.
Or it's like the garbage.
Like you don't even use the same trash cans as me because you don't have the same truck.
I don't have the city. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have that weird truck that lifts the can.
Yeah.
You still have guys that do it.
Oh, I've got a mishmash of I've got the Brutus beefcake trash can, the metal one.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of round.
I like that.
And then I got some square ones.
I'm a traditionalist. I like a man still putting my trash into the truck. I don't like the robots doing it. I know that I'm an anomaly. I know that I'm weird because I do like some things robotic and some things I'm a traditionalist. That's just how I am. I'm weird.
So, and then I also know that after storms, they're a little more loose with how you have to bundle your yard waste because they realize it's like it's an emergency, and I think they tell them like just pick it. They come by with a claw truck, and that's a different one than
that is
normal.
A different one. Yeah. Also, I'd like to point out if you've been listening to our show, we were the first to ever report on the Castleberry permit like problem they blew up on Facebook. That thing went from 200 comments when we reported on it to 4,000 comments over the weekend.
Oh, really?
4,000. You know what really lit the fire on it? Gannon the Magic Man shared it. Oh, man.
I mean, he's going through a rough time.
He is. I'm feeling for that guy.
I'm going to send him a message, but Old Kinderhook is his business in Sanford. His house flooded, his business flooded.
Yeah.
Like he's, I'm going to text him after the show. And
also, he's, absolutely vehemently against permits. He's their arch-enemy. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
But that is true.
Yeah, he'll laugh at that. he'll laugh a lot at that, and then he'll tell me to shut up. Yeah.
So anyway, I understand that for picking up the yard debris, it's probably easier if it was all, organized into bundles and then or in trash bags, so it's easy for them to collect.
Sure.
But as I look around my neighborhood, most people are just opting for the pile because they don't have time to cut every stick into an equally sized and then put twine around it.
Do you have any of those guys?
What?
I do have a Twineman, and I will. I'll tell you this.
And then I run by him like nerds.
Yeah, it equally makes me mad, and it looks awesome. Because we have a Twineman. Like, the way he does it, I'm like, damn, that looks good. But I am not doing that.
That's for an old man with time.
Yeah, that's an old man. That's a Jim Colbert.
I don't
have
time. That's a Jim
Colbert. Somebody that's got some time on their hands. All their kids are gone. They're looking for things to do. It's it's either cut the sticks or die.
Yeah. So they get out there. Yeah. They put a bow on them. Anyway, so now I understand that you could tip these guys if you see them around or whatever. You can go and give them cash. No one's got cash.
I've never done that.
There's no system that's a universal system to tip these guys. Yeah. Same thing for linemen too. I think this would work for them. So I think on the side of these trucks, there should be giant, like some sort of universal Venmo
like
or Cash App.
QR code?
Or QR code or whatever, some place that we could all digitally tip them, right?
Okay.
And it goes into a pool, which then gets distributed between everybody, right?
Okay.
And so, and then I feel like a lot of us would, because I have this giant pile of debris, and then I'm like, well, I want to tip these guys, but I'm not going to be around. I don't know when they're coming. You know what I'm saying? It's probably probably backed up from the hurricane or whatever. So I have no way to tip them unless I literally wait at my house until they come.
I also think that's awkward because they want to get to work.
They want the tips.
No, they do, but I mean, like, they also want to get to work. It's weird if they've got their gear and everything, and you walk out there. It's awkward.
No, but also you'll get the appreciation. This also ties into my idea. You get the appreciation if you give it to them in person.
Oh, that's why you like doing stuff in person.
Yeah,
I think I'm putting this all together. That's why you still like going into the bank.
So if there's a way to tip, but also get a yard sign that says, I tipped my hurricane debris people.
Yeah, or don't forget to tip your hurricane debris people.
No, I want the sign that, like, say I tip $50.
Should it have the amount you tipped?
Well, if you get the sign, that's 50 or above. You know,
Okay.
there's a certain
Right,
you can get a sticker for cheaper, but
Yeah.
that goes in
All
your
cheaper,
car.
then you know you cheaped out.
You need the yard sign so they can see it.
Okay,
you know what
so
I'm saying?
anything over 50, you get a yard sign.
And then I put it in my yard, and then when they come by, they're like, "Oh, this," and then they,
it
they'll
also
even
generates more tips.
like they'll pick up some extra sticks. Like they'll know that I'm the big tipper.
Okay.
And then they'll, and then we have also a way for to tip these people.
A counterpoint may have just walked into the room.
No. We have no way to tip them. Ross McCoy.
Hey guys, our good friend Ross McCoy just walked in, and he was shaking his head like you are an idiot. You don't like this idea?
The to ensure promptness of the tip of it all, that never works. Unless you hit the guy up front with big money, and then you're gonna be with him personally face to face for a long time. They always forget. And the tip only is a thank you. That's all you can.
I think that's why he has the sign, right? The sign would be the reminder.
That's how you get the yard sign.
Oh, I didn't realize how classy this man was. I missed that part.
It's a yard sign.
He's got a billboard in front of his house that says, "Hey, I tip everybody."
Yeah.
No, but also this could be for linemen too, where there's some pool that we all can tip into.
Okay.
That tip the linemen out, which would cause them to work harder. They would actually imagine if each lineman got an extra $2,000 or whatever they are able to split or $1,000 extra on top just through tips from all Floridians that put into this pool and they just distribute out or whatever. You
ever met a lineman?
We interviewed one for a weird job.
By no means I have met every lineman on earth, but every lineman on earth I have met has had one problem, and that's converting their giant piles of money into drugs quick enough. They just can't do it.
Well, that's fine. I don't care what they. I'm just saying because the money.
Not your business.
Tip them in drugs. I see what you're saying now, Tom.
Money will help them.
And then a
work
sign
more.
that says, "I tip my lineman drugs."
Correct.
It's good for everybody because I see everybody's also like, hey, if you see thank you to all the linemen, they don't care about the social media thank you. They want the money, Ross. And there's no way to tip these people. And then there needs to be a fund. And then there would be more linemen. People would be like, hey, if a hurricane hits, I'm going to get a $1,500 cash bonus on these tips. And there would be more linemen.
It is weird.
More people would get the power back.
The things we tip and the things we don't tip are weird.
Here's my proposal.
Because that is something I would tip for.
Of course.
I get what you're saying.
A lot of people, society wants to give them money in some way, and there's no system to do that.
No.
What if we all go out on our porches and bang pots and pans together to show them that they're heroes?
No, they don't want that. They want the drug money, Ross.
This pots and pans idea's got legs.
Same
all
thing with
rhythmically
nurses.
together. Yeah.
And by the way, and nothing against.
I would tip my nurse.
Nothing.
Well, are you arguing that everyone should just start rocking a QR code on their body where we can tip anybody at any time?
Oh.
Isn't that what you're kind of arguing? Is that if that T&D logo on your polo were just a QR code, if you were super serving, let's say Jeff's Bagels, and Jeff happened to really like what you were doing, could he scan it and be like, you know what, I'm throwing Tom an extra $50 today because he's a good partner?
Yeah, there should be an easy. And now most people have some Venmos or Cash Apps, and you could tip them digitally.
I think it's cheap though when people do that. When people say that,
but
I'm not used to it yet. I'm still a little bit of an old man. So when people say "Oh, you can just Venmo me," I'm like, cheap person. I think you're a bad person because when I use Venmo, when I use Cash App, any of that, that's drugs. That's you're buying something you shouldn't do.
No, not nowadays.
I'm not saying it. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying for me.
That's the trap you're in.
Yeah, I still hear it. Like when Sam did the show that day, and you're like, "Oh, I'll PayPal you." I'm like, "Ugh, PayPal, drugs." I still think that.
It's not the early 2000s.
I'm not used to it yet. I'm not used to it yet because I'm not used to a legitimate "Oh, thank you so." People buy "Oh, thank you so much. You babysat my daughter." Venmo. I'm like, "Oh, Venmo. That's for prostitutes."
No,
that's what I think though.
Yeah,
you guys are
old men.
You guys are creeping towards the Chinese system of social credit, where you literally have a little tag on your thing, and if you cut somebody off in traffic, they'll scan you and decrease your social score.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay.
I'm all about
one vote for communist China.
Yeah, we're all about, like, I want class levels, and I want people moving. I want people relegated.
Yeah.
Also,
Untouchables, yeah.
A big fan of Chinese whipped metal. It's lighter and brittler.
It's very, very brittle.
No, but I was like, there needs to be a more efficient way to tip our garbage men and our debris pickup men in Florida. Besides from waiting outside or putting a 12-pack of beer, like you know, like,
it is
how many 12-packs of beer? Like, I imagine if I'm working there, I'd be like, I can't fit any more 12-packs. I need money.
No,
I want money.
You are absolutely right.
And you buy me disgusting beer, by the way.
In this neighborhood, and I give good beer. In this neighborhood, I give Lagunitas IPA. Delicious.
They may not like that.
They probably don't. I give them good stuff, but then you're right. At the end, like even when they get to my little cul-de-sac area, they'll open the doors to the cab, and they all get out, and you can see inside there. They have no more room because there's so much beer in there. I think I'd rather just ask them.
They want money.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe just Christmas Venmo. Like, what's your truck's Venmo?
Also, if I was
the truck should have a Venmo.
If I was a garbage man, I would be like, how much of an alcoholic do you think we are? So all you give us is
you're
beer.
A garbage man. I know how stereotypes work. Garbage men are alcoholics.
Like, why is it always beer? You know, like,
well, there's just certain things. Like, look, if you're a nurse, or if you trim cats and dogs, you're fat. And if you're a garbage man, you're alcoholic. There's some things that are just true.
And then with like crews of guys, you run into trouble. Like we had a tree taken down a couple months ago, and there was like 20 guys on this goddamn crew, and I want to tip them, but like I'm already paying thousands of dollars to have this tree taken down, so I'm like strapped for cash.
So
I go out and I have like a bunch. I have like 12 $5 bills, and I give each guy $5, and they looked at me like it was a ass. Like,
Grandpa, here's
great.
a $5 bill.
Right.
Go to Rose's and get a GI Joe.
It really was like they opened their grandma's Christmas card and then they're like, okay, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah.
But if I slip those guys 20 each, now I'm paying for a whole nother tree. You know?
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
Why is Grandma carrying a samurai sword?
And then if you give the leader or who you like the foreman,
I was going to ask
money,
you should go like, who's running this crew? But you should have yelled that. Who's running the crew?
And then you ask them to distribute it. You're like, he's going to pop it. This guy, I don't think he likes everybody on this crew, and he's going to just take the money himself.
Oh, yeah. And I'd fight for it, too. So if you're like, did that guy tip you? I'm like, no way.
I need to talk to a debris pickup person to find out how much easier is it for them.
Should we talk to our client that's a debris pickup person?
No, that's junk
more
removal.
junk removal?
I'm talking about the guys that drive the county trucks.
With the claw.
With the claw, or that have to do it manually. But I imagine that they send out the claw trucks, right? We've seen it after other storms. They bring out the claw truck, and then there's usually like a following vehicle and stuff, and they just go by and pick it up. How much easier is it if it's all organized as opposed to just a one giant pile? Like, because they tell you to organize it, but if it's the claw anyway, then it doesn't matter, right?
I think they only send the claw truck out for like a real mess, and then like the majority of the pickups being done by your regular yard guys who they need it bundled so they can get it into the truck.
So if it's a pile, do they still, like, if they're going to say, well, if you
ever gotten the note where they told you to bundle it and they drove off? I have.
Yeah, my neighbors get that all the
time.
I got that. They put like pilage crap.
I think it was the only time I didn't bundle it. It was at my tiny house, the little original house, and I just put it in a pile. And they used to be like, they probably won't be that way because of the hurricane. They're
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
less strict.
They get loose with the hurricane.
They were not loose.
Yeah.
I remember I thought it was actually pretty decent. Put a piece of paper on it, like, nope, we will not take this unless you bundle those sticks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I know, like, normal, like, a Wednesday or whatever, it's non-hurricane time, like, you have to organize it. But a hurricane time, it seems like the pile on the next to your driveway is the standard.
Do you call for that claw truck? Okay.
I see it hundreds of people around my neighborhood.
You call for the claw truck, right? It pulls up. Out of your front door, I come running dressed as a rubber duck. Then we use the claw truck to try and pick me up. Viral video. We get hundreds of thousands of more people that watch us on our TikTok. It means nothing.
You get clawed in half.
Yeah. Would that thing chop me in half?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just like a loose claw.
No, you think you're stronger than a stick?
No.
That thing's
I know
breaking
I'm
sticks
not.
all day.
Yeah.
Plus, the person operating it, made the training was loose as
loose,
well.
Loose training.
It was like a couple
it's as
times
loose as my bundle.
on the back of the landfill. They pick up some stuff and they're like, this guy's ready. And they send him out there.
Yeah.
Now the level of destruction also plays a part into this, because I remember when Charlie came through and like every branch in Central Florida was on the ground.
Yeah.
I was working as a surveyor, and we got like part-time jobs as trash estimators. Basically, they were bringing all these guys from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. They'd come down in a truck with a trailer, and I don't know if you remember this, but they'd build the trailers like up 10 feet with plywood on the sides, and then these guys would just fill these janky trailers full of debris wherever they could find it. And then they'd come to us, we'd check it off, sign their little slip, and they'd go to like a central dumping point because there was just so much stuff on the ground.
So they were just paying like randoms.
Every jackass with a trailer, in the southeast, yeah.
And the government would give them some money per trailer load, or
and
whatever?
then we the surveyors were the kind of where the tire hit the ground. We were supposed to like estimate how much sticks are in a trailer made of plywood, and we just signed whatever.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. God.
Sign whatever. Sign whatever.
You gotta measure your plywood. Come on.
Yeah. Who's gonna be like, wait a minute?
I got half a joint waiting in the woods. Come on, let's get this over with.
Yeah. Imagine the nerd that's like, hold on, let me. Like they start inspecting it.
You know
they
there
measure,
was at least one.
They start doing the math per cubic foot, and they're like, hold on, how many cubic feet of debris? And the person's just like, come on, buddy, what? This is free government money.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I think we've gotten to a point now where if you were in an area where anything has got cameras on it, they can scan that stuff and they can tell you. It can like have a camera estimate it. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where they'll have like a camera on an 18-wheeler, and it just the camera shoots in the back of the bed, and it's like reads. It's like, oh, I know exactly what's in here.
Yeah,
nuts.
No, it is, and like I thought they, for the most part, they weigh it. But yeah, you're right. I mean,
but that was an extraordinary circumstance. It was just like it had to get out of the streets, or commerce was going to be disabled.
Speaking of the accumulation of stuff, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal this morning I was reading, and they're talking about how baby boomers, which I guess a little bit older than me, right? So I'm Gen X. Are you Gen X?
No, I'll be a baby. Or no, I mean, baby boomers were like the ones
44
born
to
after
64,
World War II.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I'm an X. I think you're X.
Yeah.
You're millennial.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like the article basically it breaks down how boomers were trying to accumulate stuff. It's like that was the number one thing, like the house, the fence, the cars, the everything.
He who dies with the most toys wins.
Absolutely. And now it's like our kids, especially like younger ones, I think I guess Maisie, Tommy, and Max would be considered Generation Alpha, which they don't truly understand, but I guess
I think they went XYZ and then back around the horn.
Yeah, and I guess the thinking of that is they are the first that are fully integrated into AI, the web, and everything.
Internet,
without it ever not being a thing.
Grew up with it.
But I just found it interesting that they were kind of going through, like the whole article basically outlines a couple of stories of families where it's younger people trying to get rid of like their parents' stuff. Like that is a thing, and it's always been a thing, and it won't. But eventually, it will not be a thing. Like it was a thing for me. I mean, think about it. With my mom and dad, like they had their house, and then I had that estate sale, and I just basically, because I'm not that type of person, I just got rid of everything.
My kid just gave me a hard time about this yesterday. I was at Target just getting like bird seed or something, and I picked up a Skibbity toilet action figure.
Yes, you did.
Why
did you buy one for me? They have Skibbity toilet action figures?
Dude, they got
Crazy. They got Skibbity toilet action figures.
I almost brought it today. I'm sad I didn't now.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we got it's like that thing where they give you a little mystery pack for $5
blind
and
box.
you don't know.
Oh, I love blind box. They got Skibbity toilet blind box?
Dan, let me break your mind. They got little ones, they got like a mid-sized one, and then they got like an oversized plush.
Yes.
So you could have like a Skibbity toilet, like stuffed animal. $20, dude, reasonable. So anyway, I got 2 little Skibbity toilet figurines, and one for me, one for the kid, because like he hates it that I know what Skibbity toilet is, and it amuses me to no end. And so I got us each a Skibbity toilet figure, and we opened them, and I got Skibbity toilet. I got the one.
Yeah, dude, you crushed it.
And I was like, hell yeah. And I was like, dude, to my kid, I was like, dude, when I die, this is all yours. And And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'll make a special trip to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch to throw it in.
Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yep.
Well,
That's a good kid.
That's
a good kid.
Well, if you think about it, like things have never been cheaper, and there's never been more like Temu garbage you can get, and like all the kids, and
there's like a rejection of things because everything. It's just too many things.
Too much.
Yeah. My kids would much rather be on a screen or like be in Roblox or in their video games than play action figures or any plastic art. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, why do they need all this stuff? And all the stuff is basically free and cheap and garbage, so you're just associated with garbage. And then it's like, I want to have, and then you see your parents, your old, grandparents,
with just a bunch of trash.
Hoarding a bunch of stuff. And then you're just like, I don't want stuff at all.
Well, that's what I was going to ask is I wonder if some of that is that knee jerk, that pendulum, because for me, I do think that a little bit, like, I don't know if you remember, but my mom and dad's garage, especially after dad left, it got kind of bad. I don't know if you remembered how, like, my mom had to park a golf cart in there. I mean, it was a very intricate parking job. There was a lot of stuff in there. So you get to a point where maybe I was thinking about it. I was like, was there a play here of me keeping some stuff? But I looked at this stuff for so long that I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
No,
it's overwhelming.
I'm out.
Well, they are from a generation where you're like, well, this is some good metal here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're saving things.
You're gonna throw away a perfectly good house window. It's not even for your house, but you can't. It blows your mind that someone would throw away, and you're like, listen, old man, old woman, all this stuff is like you made in China now, cheap as hell. You have to throw it away, like, and they can't wrap their head around throwing away perfectly good items.
The killer sentence is, I'll find a use for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what happens. They just accumulate a bunch of stuff, and then you have to go and pick up before a hurricane comes, and you look at all the stuff in your grandpa's backyard.
Yes.
And then you're like, well, the weeds have grown over this tractor tire, so I'm just gonna leave it. All these paint cans.
It stays because it stays.
You're like, it's fine.
It's funny because it's funny that it's made its way to an article of basically the younger generation saying they're tired of our stuff, and then that goes for me. Like, after I read this article, I just sat here and I started thinking about, this is something that May gets on me about all the time. I'll take a picture and put it on the BDM page. When's the last time you saw my T-shirt wall? I don't know, man. 400 T-shirts? 400?
Oh, yeah.
How many hats do I have? I don't know, 100? 100 hats? 100 nice baseball hats? How many do you need? 4? 5?
I got one.
It's stupid. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Well, is that what? Like, let me ask you, because I understand this is just a mental illness.
Yeah, it is. We established that on Friday.
So it's like asking someone, like, why do you like heroin so much? Like, it's like, I understand.
The answer's complicated.
And so you like hats, and you like new hats or whatever. So you end up after years.
Yes.
You have, but you're like, I can't wear 100 different hats.
No.
And I haven't.
I don't know. You ever read that Dr. Seuss book?
And I've seen you give away hats.
I have that.
Bartholomew Cubbins.
I have that hat. I mean, I have that book.
I've seen you give away hats before.
But my problem's gotten worse.
What?
I'm older now. My sickness has got. I've succumbed to the sickness more.
Yeah. So then, when you see them, you're like, my precious.
Yeah, and I don't want other people to wear them. Yeah, and then I've got some crazier hats.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ross with his knives. It's like he's upgraded, right? Like you started with like little knives here and there, but now he's got some
Swiss Army.
He's got some swords.
Yeah.
I've got some velvet. I've got some limited edition. They were made in Cooperstown that are made of pure wool.
Could you ever, because remember when we talked to Josh Wolf about leaving his house in the mold house, and he left every possession he's ever owned?
I can leave it instantly. Yeah, I can leave it.
Like, that seems freeing to me. Like, I sometimes I think about throwing away everything.
That's what I did with my mom and dad's house.
Yeah, just throw it all away and then start fresh.
To Marie Kondo, like each individual item taken in the palm of your hand and judged. Does it spark joy in my life?
Yeah. But that process is so
takes
overwhelming
forever.
that I can't even start.
You got too much junk.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem with that. I get my joy from 1 million little pieces of trash. So everything has 1 ounce of joy in it, right? So I have to surround.
Marie.
Yeah, I have to surround myself with 1 million little ounces of trash. You want to do a couple voicemails, buddy?
Yeah. And then when we come back from break after the voicemail, I want to talk to Ross about some drain system in a lake that you were going to tell us on Friday's show.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to understand how it works because me and Crystal were talking, like, there's a...
you want to jump into it now?
Well, okay, I'll explain the rationale behind me because I was talking to Crystal about this. So there's this, I call the Castleberry Waterfall by my house.
I've seen that in the Discord. Yeah, that was the lady with the aviators on, right?
And I
think I Venmo'd somebody for a Castleberry Waterfall one time.
It's on Lake Howell, where Lakemont turns into Lake Howell. And it's this little waterfall that goes from a lake down to a stream that flows into Lake Howell. And
is that where that little bridge is?
The
little wood thing?
Well, it's over a bridge, but it's usually about like 5 foot wide, maybe, and it's a small waterfall. And then I can always tell how much rain we get by how big it gets. Yeah. Sometimes it gets down to a trickle, or sometimes it overflows the sides.
So this is your Crocodile Dundee. This is how you're able to look at that and tell the weather in Castleberry.
And
that's badass.
So much rain that it is not even a waterfall anymore. Like it basically eliminated the actual waterfall aspect of it, and it's now just a little hump, and it's a gigantic
my humps, my lovely lady lumps
river now flowing.
Creek's full,
yeah. And so
check it out.
And I know that's part of the problem with St. John's because everything eventually flows into St. John's.
Pretty much, yeah.
Getting higher, and there's probably going to be flooding all through Sanford and
there already is.
and DeLand, and then north of St. John's because all that water has to get to
makes its way to the river, makes its way to the ocean.
But we were looking at that. I was like, man, there's a lot of water flowing into Lake Howell. And then Crystal's like, well, I imagine it all just goes to the St. John's. And then I'm like, yeah, but Ross was telling me about some other way to drain lake water that I never even knew about. And like I think because I would just assume that it all has to go drain into
Ross knows all the secrets of
the ocean.
He knows all the secrets of what they've been doing. Big Water's been controlling these levels, and Ross got in there and he knows.
You got to get all your neighbors together with crazy straws, and
because I was like, well,
crazy straws.
This water will flood everybody in Lake Howell if it all just flows in. Like it can't.
So how do they control that?
Yeah, and I know that engineers have designed runoffs and stuff for this, but me and Crystal didn't know how that worked. And then,
well, of course, you're fascinated by it because your house floods, right? I would imagine
it just flash floods when too much water gets in through the back. So it's not a flooding scenario where water's rising.
It's just a lot at one moment.
Just a flash flood. That's all.
And by flood, I mean just water can get into my back doors and then cause me a pain in the ass.
That's what a flood is.
No, but people say flood, and like when you say your house floods, I need 2
It's like
foot.
saying, I'm starving. You're not starving. You just need some food.
Your garbage has to be floating around the house and your couch. And,
and your wife has to be crying.
Yeah. That's a house flood. Not just some water into the back door.
Little back door water.
Like when you say a flood.
I got you.
Anyway, so.
Nobody's attacking your back door water, sir.
So how does it work, Ross?
Are we really talking like parking lot water runoff? This is a dream come true, dude. I love it. Okay. So rains, right? And then you got what you call a watershed. And so like the highest point of between here, like, so the water hits a point and it either goes to the St. John's or it goes to the other watershed. I forget what the one to the south of us is. That one that goes down to Tampa or whatever.
Okay,
so
basically into a big marshy area, right?
So basically everywhere you live is a bowl of some sort, one way or another, and like water finds its way to the lowest point. Around here, that's the St. John's. One way we have of controlling like how much water makes it from the rain to the St. John's is like retention ponds. You'll see like along the highway retention ponds, and they have those big structures where the water rises to a certain level and they can get in. You know, like you see a pond with like a big silver column coming out of it.
Yeah, big concrete column in the middle of it.
That controls like what level the water gets to before, and then at the top is a drain.
I hate the way they look. They're so unsightly.
Yeah, well, you're driving down the interstate, so relax, you know. So like however high that structure is how long it takes the water, and that's just that keeps it in that pond for a certain amount of time. Some of it evaporates, some of it soaks into the ground, but it keeps it in the pond, and then so. Like we have tons of lakes around here too, so the water either goes to towards the St. John's, or in my neighborhood it all goes down to Lake Pine Lock.
Okay.
And so Lake Pine Lock has this structure. It has a water outflow structure that's controlled by this thing called a weir. and a weir, like imagine like Lego hands, but like I don't know, like a 10-foot section of Lego hands that you can slide boards into to make a wall, right?
Like a dam.
It's a dam of any other name, yeah, but
it's a weir, a bob weir.
Correct. It's a tiny little dam-like structure called a weir.
Okay.
And so the point of the brackets on the sides and the logs, it functions just like that silver tower does. It controls the height of where the water goes to. So like Lake Pine Lock, I'm gonna say like say they have that weir built to like 10 feet, it'll get to there, and then if it gets higher than that, it'll roll over that weir into this water control structure. And like most of the lakes around here have a direct conduit right down to the aquifer.
Really?
A lot of them do. Lake Pine Lock does for a fact. I know. I saw it one time. It used to just be this silver door on the ground, and I always be like, "What the hell is that?" And one day, like the county had it open, and they were futzing around with it. And I was walking the kids and the dog, and I went over, and I was like, "Hey, what is that?" And they're like, "This here's a pipe that goes straight to the aquifer." Actually, ours
I've always thought it's gonna look like emeralds and rubies and jewels down there in the aquifer. That's how dumb I am. Is that like I think when they're like, "Hey man, the aquifer," you open the door, like, "Ah!"
So
it's
the
like
water
a light coming out of it. Ah!
It drains down into the aquifer.
Correct. It goes into this pipe and it goes right down to the aquifer. And like, why don't we do that with all of our water? So, because like, if you let that just direct runoff go in there, it's taking everything, all the oil from the street, all the pollen.
Not in the aquifer.
It's dumping all that crap right into the aquifer. They'd
terrible.
much prefer like let it go into a lake, settle out to whatever that weir level is, and then like let all the junk settle to the bottom of the lake, and then that water go into the aquifer it can. And so what I was telling you guys about was right before the hurricane, the city of Orlando on their Instagram at the City Beautiful, they put out a video basically showing you how to adjust these weirs by yourself. Like there was a video like, hey guys, we're out here doing all the trash pickup and adjusting the weirs, and then they showed you like if you just reach down and pull a board out of this weir, the lake will go down. And I was like, they did everything but tell you if you start flooding, here's what you do.
So they were telling the people they could do out there.
They were showing.
No, they weren't telling them to do it. They were just
here's how we do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were just like.
Turns out it's really easy, guys.
Yeah. It's kind of like what you do, where you're like hold up your phone and you're like Google.
Okay.
Yeah, they were kind of like, hey, this is how.
So I never knew that there was an option to drain floodwater into the aquifer itself.
Not every lake, but like a lot of them around here, and they don't want you to know that. They absolutely, because it's not that they did all this back in like the early days before they understood.
But is there because all that rainwater too is like going to the aquifer, which obviously causes like places like Blue Springs and stuff, like where the water comes out any spring, where it's gonna start coming out crazy because of the amount of water it is, right? So
I would imagine. I don't know how that works.
I don't know that we can like affect the aquifer that much. It's so big.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that
this rain doesn't do much to it.
I don't know that it does really. Like even with like direct pipe, because the normal process is rain falls to the ground, soaks in, it takes forever to get down to the aquifer. Even like shortcutting like that, I don't know that we can affect it that much. It's so big.
Yeah, I guess I forget like when you say the aquifer, I can't even imagine what like.
It goes
how big it is, what is down there.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to. I still got rubies and jewels.
Coastally, the ocean is involved because I feel like if you take too much out, you can get saltwater intrusion and ruin parts of it. But like, so the ocean's involved with it. It's really big.
Yeah, and then
sounds way. Is it like? It just sounds real complicated. Like it's like the world's bloodstream. Like it's like ew.
But not everywhere has that. Like a lot of places, you can't just dig down into the ground 200 feet and find this pristine reservoir of drinking water. Like you can't do that in Utah.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
It's such a valuable resource, and we just mess with it.
It was just pour some trash in there.
Yeah. See what happens.
Right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll do some voicemails. We'll also talk about the Limp Bizkit lawsuit happening.
Oh yeah.
And
am I finally suing them for that terrible show in 1996?
No. They're suing somebody else.
Yeah, for a lot of money too.
Yeah, for a lot of money. We will be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Couple things. We got a BDM event this Saturday. You have to be a BDM to attend, but it's kind of like an Oktoberfest party that we're putting on. Daniel ordered this thing called a beer puppeteer that you strap. It's basically you could puppeteer a pint of beer up to your mouth and drink it.
Yeah,
or
it's
do a
handmade,
competition.
too. It's really cool. Like, I mean, the old lady that makes these things online, and they're handmade. It took a while to get here. I was a little worried about it, but the damn thing, the harness that they used for it.
Yeah, they're like straps to your back.
It's a better harness than any OSHA required. The guys around here working on building. It's nice, dude.
Yeah,
It was like $70. I was like, this is really. I got to tell you, sometimes you'll find some old lady on Etsy that I'm like, you are really engineering this. You should have slapped this thing together. You went too far.
Or charge more.
Yeah, you could easily charge $150 for this thing. But yeah, $70. But beer puppeteer, you have to puppeteer the beer into your mouth. It's going to be super fun. Got some other games we're going to do. We got live music. It'll just be fun seeing you guys. And if you've never been to this place, it's an awesome place.
Also, our Bad Business Beer Fest in Sofa and Suds. That's November 23rd and 24th. So let's talk about...
I'm not a BDM. How do I become one?
You can go to tomanddan.com.
Such a pro.
You just sign up right where it says you become a member on the right-hand side, and you could pick your tier level from $1.95 a month to $10.95. The True Love BDMs.
That would make me cry.
Yeah.
I mean, the $10.95ers, when
we
you
love
tell
you,
me,
baby.
a little bit more.
I love you a little bit more. I really do.
This is true.
Do either of you guys know what, if you were to injure yourself and get a stinger, do you know what that is?
I have heard it being used on the NFL a lot. And I used to hear Tuttle say he got a stinger.
Tuttle used to say it all the time. And he used it, and he said he got it from baseball. It got kicked around this past weekend. It has come up on the show before. It made me laugh because we did have a listener email me and go, what the hell's a stinger? Why is the NFL choosing to use this now? Because we've always used it like, oh, man, go shake that off. You just got a little stinger. You got a little stinger.
I think it's blunt force trauma to an area of your body without damage long term to that area. Like it's bruising.
Like bruising, okay.
Some sort of like muscle pain and stuff like that, but there's no broken bone, there's no ligament damage, anything. So it's like still an injury, but it's just a stinger.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's how I interpret it.
Yeah, I think that's what I kind of thought too. Ross, do you have an idea of what a stinger would be?
I guess I would have said it was some sort of like drug you use to like recover from an injury. Like you get a stinger and then it's like a cortisone shot or something. That would have been my guess.
Well, according to the NFL, a stinger in football refers to a nerve injury in the neck or shoulder area that typically happens when the head or neck is forced into an unnatural position, compressing or stretching the nerves that branch out from the spine. The result is sudden, sharp pain, often described as burning or tingling sensation that radiates down your arms. It can also cause numbness or weakness in the arm or hand, but the symptoms usually subside quickly. However, repeated stingers or severe cases can be more serious. It's an actual thing.
So it's a nerve thing.
Specific to the neck.
Okay.
Yeah, to your neck.
Interesting.
Never knew that.
When you were describing that, I don't remember ever getting that from like soccer or whatever. But I do get that like nerve pinch and my arms tingle if I sneeze too hard or too much.
I did it this morning. I was just going to say that. I did it this morning. I was laying in bed and I sneezed and then both my arms got excruciatingly painful and then they'd stop working. That's how weak I am. That's how weak of a man I am.
It happens to me too. Like I'll get a whiff of a cat or something. I'll sneeze like a bunch of times. Or really hard. A couple really hard ones.
When I smell pussy, I sneeze. And then I freeze. I sneeze and freeze. It's the old sneeze and freeze. And then my arms don't work.
But it's the worst because you don't have an injury that you can point to, but like for whatever reason your arm's not working. Like you just like,
and it hurts.
Am I like this now?
Yeah,
like, when is it gonna go away?
Really hurts.
It's intensely painful on like a nerve level.
Yeah, and I get it right in the joint, in the bone, and then you're like,
from a sneeze.
Yeah, from a sneeze. Sneezing. I think we can all agree that I don't think we know even half of the science behind the sneeze. The sneeze might as well be the bottom of the ocean or space. Because like sneezing, like so many crazy things happen when you sneeze.
And
like,
why? Why are you sneezing? Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? And why do my shoulders hurt? And why do my arms stop working when I'm sneezing? All right, let me get these voicemails ready to go here. All right, here we go.
Well, before we go in voicemail, I want to talk about that Limp Bizkit thing. Cause
let's do it.
I read a little about it, and I kind of understand it a little bit. Like it's a...
Some people are saying it's kind of overblown on their side because it's almost like they're forcing to be paid.
So Limp Bizkit started this lawsuit, which in what I read, that they think other bands can either jump aboard and turn onto like a class action thing,
That's what it sounds like,
or
yeah.
they could, file their own suits claiming that some huge
Universal Music Group, or UMG, they are claiming that they are owed $200 million in unpaid royalties. The band alleges that UMG concealed royalties. Here's the part that I found most interesting. They're claiming that UMG, Universal Music Group, used software to basically make it look like their royalties were X, but their royalties were really Z. So they were like fudging the numbers using sophisticated software.
It's interesting because,
right?
Like,
it's weird.
It seems weird they would have to do that when they have such predatory contracts to begin with. Like,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So think about how the music industry transitioned, where back before streaming, right, it was album sales. And they had that, it took, 50 years, but they had it pretty down pat, where it's like they distribute the albums, the stores pay a particular price per album, and then the stores would sell them at an up cost, so they would make their money.
Yeah.
But the original distribution, like there was hard money, easy accounting, you know what I'm saying? Like they pressed this many records and they sold them to a record store, and the record store gave them this money, and then
it was
the artist gets a percentage. The accounting was very easy.
It wasn't digital.
And then when they went streaming, and I'm sure so now the artist was like, okay, well, I need to get paid per stream or whatever. So then the company was like Universal Music or whoever is like, all right, we'll pay you, how many pennies per stream? Like 5 pennies for every stream, right? But the artist has no way to verify the numbers because they, so then they're basically just they have to take
their
whatever
word for it. It's an honor system in a weird way. Yeah, I mean, we had versions of this even in radio, like where we would do live reads, and then like I wouldn't keep track of how many live reads I did, but I should have, because then I'd have to go and check my paycheck to see how many times I should have been paid for my live reads. I mean, I get it. You want to do some sort of bookkeeping, but they weren't able to.
We're a slave to the system. Like if back in radio days, if they told us like, oh, our bonuses are based on these ratings, and they say our ratings didn't come in, then it's just like,
how do you check?
There's no way. I'm just like, okay.
Correct. Perfect example.
Thank you. And
Perfect example. You can't check. You got to take their word for it.
So you can't go and like now there's like Arbitron, but they're not releasing how, you know what I'm saying? You can't go internally and audit them, as you just have to take everybody's word for it. And these bands have to take the word of Universal Music Group, Spotify, all the numbers they get.
What UMG's defense is basically like, they're basically saying like, hey, in August, we're complying to you. We paid you $1 million. Now, granted, we looked into it, and yes, there was a software error, and you were owed $1 million, but we did find the software error, and here is your $1 million.
Okay.
So it doesn't look good, but their claim is kind of like what Tom's saying. They're kind of like, look, we're moving a cruise ship here. It takes a long time to get paid. Sorry, we're figuring it out.
And I wonder if it has anything to do with, because I wonder about this a lot. Like if I, I got my liked songs playlist playing, and like Lucchini comes up, and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like listening to Lucchini right now. So it plays like 10 seconds of Lucchini, and I fast forward. Do they get credit for a full play? Do they get a partial play? Do they get no play? Like, I don't know how that works.
10 seconds. It's supposedly like you have to be like, I know for podcasting, I believe the standardization of it is between 8 and 10 seconds. Of it has to play in order to. That's how they tried to standardize podcasting with the, what is it, UBA or. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe 40.
Exactly. Rat in the kitchen. But yeah, there is a standardization process that they did, and yeah, they make you like listen to a certain amount of seconds before it counts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's all changing all the time. So it's like, like they used to go off just the download or just the click on YouTube. Remember, that's what caused everybody to put the fake picture up just so you get a click, because that's how you used to get paid. Then they're like, wait, we're going to change this. It has to.
Got to hide a camel toe in there to get a click.
The more you watch, the more valuable the actual person is towards the campaign.
SJ clarified for me. It's 8 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was around that because I know they changed it for us because we used to remember when it was just Click, Tom, and Dan, there were shows that we got 175,000 views, or like we were number 13 in the world, but it was all fake. But I mean, hey, we were there. We were there.
No, but yeah, well, it was also way less people putting stuff out.
Correct.
But like, if you think about it, for Universal Music, I'm sure they sat around like when they were giving the artists the numbers of how many streaming downloads they had or whatever. Like, if they're the ones responsible to give the information that determines how much these artists get paid, then we've got a problem here where they're motivated by obviously making the most amount of money. So are they going to be totally honest with the amount of, and maybe they're like, well, if we knock this down a couple decimal points.
I mean, isn't it the same reason why Netflix doesn't share how many people tune into their stuff? I mean, the reason that streaming is a massively wonderful gray area if you're on the side of it being gray, right?
Yeah. So
you could sit back and be like, oh, it wasn't that great. You didn't do that good.
Well, now you have all private companies that don't have to share. Well, I guess.
I mean, how would you believe anybody? How would you believe Apple Music, Spotify? Like, let's take a friend of ours, like Jordan Foley.
Yeah.
When Jordan Foley looks at his Spotify numbers, how do you believe any of that? It's just coming from there, and they're like you're saying, their job is to spend the least amount of money on your stupid music, right? Yeah, I do think they think like that
to give you they
want to. It's not supposed to be fair.
And Clear Channel, the only reason they put that information out is so that they can like tier the pricing of advertising on shows. Like, Rush Limbaugh got this many listeners, it costs this much,
and they've
Tom
always
and Dan
controlled
way less. It's way cheaper to advertise with them. But Netflix doesn't have to do that because they don't have any advertisers. It's just subscription service.
Yes, but that's why there's a third-party Arbitron, a third-party company that's basically like, we're not tied into any of these companies. We're a third party. We'll tell you the ratings. But so now
Which also sort of stinks. It's like your friend comes over. He's like, I'll be the referee for the fight. Like, hold on a second.
But if all these companies...
You know him.
Like, all the streaming services, there's no third-party company...
no, they don't need it.
They don't need it.
They're like, we'll tell you what our numbers are.
Yeah.
Or
you'll just know by what we put out. Like, if it's good, we'll make more of it. If it's not, it'll go away.
You'll know.
Yeah. But even like the companies that still do commercials, by the way, which is, we're getting back to commercials. I'm watching like anything on Hulu Live or whatever.
We're right back to where we were.
It's
exactly. We might as well be back 1988.
Dude, my wife was stuck on Yellowstone. She's like working her way through Yellowstone right now.
Hey, I even went back and did
it's a decent show.
The first season's pretty darn good.
They could not drink more Coors Banquet beer like as conspicuously as possible on that show. Like, it might as well be an ad for Coors Banquet beer.
It used to be one of my favorite beers.
It's a decent beer. It's a decent beer.
Wait until you see the Duttons turn into a Chevy Silverado commercial because they were murderers.
Dude.
Rip murdered a medical examiner in cold blood.
Jamie strangled that lady, dude. He just strangled a lady for no reason.
And you know what? That body fit perfectly in the back of that brand new 2024 Silverado XLT.
You know what? Strangling takes it out of me. I could use a Coors Banquet beer.
These people were murderers, and now all of a sudden they're just wholesome American folk who want to save their land from the goddamn, you know who.
Did you get that Silverado from J.C. Harrelson? Yes, I did.
You murdered innocent people at the beginning.
Yeah, there was a scene where I was screaming at the TV. The Beth, the daughter, was like, she was like, "You find me any other publicly managed land in this country that looks as good as this?" Yeah. Well, it's for 8 people. And like Tom said, you had to murder 50 people a year to keep it like that.
50 people a year.
It's like almost one a week. They got a special cliff that they just shoot people off of, dude.
Shooting cliff. You're really watching it. You want to do a couple voicemails?
Yeah. Do you think that this goes anywhere with the lawsuit? Do you think they're actually able to recover? Or do you think they
No, they'll make money. The more I read about it, what this is.
But not $200 million.
No, this is just to expedite them being paid. This is literally just it's kind of like the U.S. women's national team filing suit against soccer, so they can get paid. It's a statement.
See, I see it more like Pawn Stars. Like the UMG came up and said, "Yeah, we found $1 million," and then Limp Bizkit's like, "Oh yeah, we think it's more like $200 million." They'll settle around 25.
Yeah,
like the Quaker man.
Also, they could be doing this too as just like a wake up call to like because they knew that like by filing this lawsuit, it would be a big news story,
Yes.
and so then everybody's like, "Wait a minute, did I get screwed too?"
Yes.
And like so because Limp Bizkit, they're doing really well right now.
They're doing fine.
Like with their tour, like their reinsurgence. Like did you know that, Ross?
I had no idea.
They basically
their new album's really good.
in the past 5 years, they became like just super hot band to go see live.
They are the early 2000s nostalgia band to see. Like you go and you see them, and they still sound excellent, and their new album is excellent. Yeah,
they're doing arena tours. Right?
Yeah, they're doing the right things.
I'm still on the record. I saw him in '95, open for Beck, and I hated him.
Yeah, I remember you said it was terrible, right?
It was the worst.
Yeah, they owe you for that show.
It was.
And you saw them in their heyday.
It was your favorite. It was the Cardigans, Limp Bizkit, and then Beck. And the Cardigans opened with Iron Man, a cover of Iron Man. So good. And then Limp Bizkit after that. Get out of here.
A lot of people don't know that the Cardigans' favorite band of all time is Black Sabbath. Mm-hmm. So that's why they continuously cover a lot of Sabbath.
Yeah, you can find that Iron Man cover out there. It's really good.
They freaking love. They've covered a bunch of Sabbath songs. One just got released, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Seeing her sing it live though was amazing.
Oh, I've never got a chance to see them. That's crazy. No, I just think they'll get paid quicker. In fact, there's a legal analyst in one of the articles I read that said he thinks that they did this because they got tired of not being paid. That this is just being the old thorn in the side of UMG, to get them, get the ball rolling a little bit.
I wonder what. I mean, obviously the promotional power that a giant company like that has, but there's got to be some other incentives like that they offer signing deals now, or is it all just kind of basically easy because it's like, we'll do this, but we'll get a back end.
I don't know. That's actually a really good question. We should talk to okay, we've got our friends of the boy band, the Full Circle Boys. We've got Jordan Foley. We know a bunch of musicians. We'd have to talk to somebody that's almost in current music. That's more pop or something to find out what like a modern day deal would be like. I don't know I don't think they do the 360 deal anymore.
No.
I don't, I think the day and age of any of that's dead. I don't know how it works now.
But there's still like opportunity if you're like, let's say all of a sudden you're super popular on the internet. It would do you a service to partner with a giant UMG. So because they have the network to get you on tour, the right people.
Like Chappell Roan or Jelly Roll. Like these are guys that they've been doing it for a hot minute, but they're.
And it's all about.
But if you get like hot on TikTok, you get a song that's going viral and playing. What's UMG going to do for you at that point? What are they going to do that you can't do on your own with TikTok?
Help you monetize it.
Yeah,
and that's what the same thing with podcasts
or manage the size of it. You see, I think they're prepared to manage.
So let's take it like in the podcast world, the business world that I know about, right? So like the Kelsey brothers, they start a podcast and then they have a ridiculous amount of listeners because of Taylor Swift and their popularity, blah blah blah. So
all of the most famous players.
So now you build a podcast, you have an insane amount of listeners, and you'll get some business trickling in. You got the Audible, but also
Stamps.com.
Your managers or whoever you're working with are giving you some small time stuff or whatever. You're doing some commercials. But
let's sell a T-shirt.
But then,
it's kind of like our model, right?
The big money is all of a sudden you come in and who's the one that bought the Kelsey brothers? Some big huge, essentially they're all giant marketing agencies, and they come in. They're like, all right, we'll give you $100 million for all the rights. You have to do this for 5 years, and then we'll sell now all the commercials because we have salespeople around the United States selling.
Well, we have 30 clients that are $1 million companies that are ready to go right now with a package for your show.
And
then, like Spotify did with Rogan.
And then they're just like, great. I don't have to deal with it anymore. I don't have to even, there's just guaranteed money.
They just cut you a check.
And then they have, now you could build your own sales force over time and make 100%, but it's just too much time and stuff like so.
Amazon
especially if it's a side gig, like you're a football player, the podcast is a side gig.
God, it doesn't get any bigger than Amazon.
He quit football for this because he actually makes more money podcasting than football.
Body.
Jason Kelsey. I did the math the other day. It was like $2 million more a year now for the podcast.
Yeah.
Once a week, drinking beer with your brother.
And he doesn't. And he can save his body and be with his family.
That's the media power of it. But so essentially, you partner with one of these big companies.
So wait, you're saying there's a job open in the NFL?
Is because they can give you a lot more money than you could building your own infrastructure or whatever. You could do it, but it's a wide,
So even with all the money they're stealing, they're still giving you more money.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
Just shut up, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Let's do a couple of Let's do this one right here. I think this is Kenny.
Hey there, Tom and Dan. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Having worked in a bunch of venues, especially arenas for most of my career, to answer Tom's question, yeah, you're right. They probably could put more bathrooms in there. It really isn't that hard. But you got to realize they're there to make money. So the more bathrooms you have, the less areas you can have for concessions or retail or whatever else you can do to make money. And that's really what they care about, because they kind of know you're there for the event. Rarely are you going to say, I don't want to go to this event because the venue doesn't have enough bathrooms. So they kind of have you by the short hairs. That being said,
I hate that phrase, when they have you by the short hairs, because I always think of somebody just grabbing that patch of hair right, that fat pad, my fat papas, on those after I trim it down and just tugging on it a little, like, get your hands out of there.
I mean, that's way longer than my beard hair. They'd have to grab me by the chin.
I keep it short. Okay. I keep mine like a flat top.
The Kia Center, or when it was the Amway Center, when there was a concert that was skewed towards the female demographic, they actually would take the initiative and change half of the men's rooms to ladies' rooms. So that way there were twice as many ladies' rooms or whatever than there were men's rooms.
I want no ladies splatter peeing in the urinals, man. Come on.
To accommodate
equivalent? If it's a basketball game, do we get half the ladies' room switch over to men's rooms?
What if I'm there to see Jordan Peterson and it's all dudes?
Also, what if you're imagine you're a lady and you walk into a bathroom at the Amway and for the first time you're confronted by a urinal. You've never seen one before in your life. What is this? How do I use this?
Yeah, girls don't have a specialty toilet.
No.
I just realized we one-upped them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we should invent a girl's specialty toilet.
Okay, I can do that too. Where do you want to go? I can do anything you want. I'm a magical man, Ross, but I think we should invent. What would a lady's toilet be like?
Okay, assume it's the same as for guys. It's for number one strictly.
How about a chair? How about a seated hole? That you sit on. Follow me here, right? And you go number one and two into it.
That's a toilet.
It's a start.
I'm seeing.
It's just a start.
You know those chairs where you sit down and then you lean forward onto a bar.
Wait,
it's
like the knee chairs that
thing.
nerds have. Oh, there's nothing I hate more when you bring your exercise ball. Or you bring one of those knee chairs to work, and they're like, "I'm changing my life. I'm gonna get to work, fat ass. Get to work, you fat ass."
You know, I love my wife, right? And she got.
Oh no, did she do that?
She got a standing desk about a year ago.
I do like a standing desk.
She has never moved it up or down one single time.
She wins. She wins.
And she's supposed to sit on.
It stays at the same level. Wins, she she'll lay her chair down like flat so she can get all low, but that desk does not move.
The standing desk, I remember, I think I said this story before, but my buddy the Wizard worked for the government and wanted a standing desk, and basically the government spent like $30,000 like building him a standing desk.
Yeah.
It's just a complete waste of money.
Yeah, a big boy desk.
Because he didn't go through the protocol, like he brought a standing desk, and they're like, no, we have to,
we have to hand carve you one.
You have to go through protocol and get an electrician,
use our
contract,
vendor.
The vendors and stuff and then $30,000 later, he's got the same thing he did when he brought his own one in, and then you're like, this is why our kids are stupid. This is why.
We gotta ask the Wizard if he ever uses it one time.
No, he doesn't worry. They punted it all in the trash as soon as they moved him out, and that's the thing. It's all gigantic waste of money. Anyway,
let's try this one right here.
Hey guys, it's Bubble Bath Billy. I know you guys have talked in the past a few times about judges giving out like wacky punishments instead of, the standard. And I can't remember if you guys hated it or loved it or both, depending on the day probably. Anyways, I just wanted to share two additional stories that I heard of and I don't think you guys have talked about. One, there was a lady who I guess was impatient when a school bus was letting off kids, and so she drove on the sidewalk to go around the bus. and the judge made her, as punishment, stand like in the median during traffic and hold a sign that said, "I'm an idiot who drove around a school bus on the sidewalk."
Oh, that'd be embarrassing. I wouldn't want to do that one. I don't want to be known as the guy that endangered kids.
Over jail time, though, or a fine?
Yeah, I guess so.
You can choose the jail time.
I would
That's
choose
the thing. You don't have to
I'll
do
choose
that.
the jail time. I'll tell you why. The jail time will give me a little more cred, and it won't be as embarrassing. Or they're gonna put me in a soft prison, right?
No.
Well,
Oh, no.
They'll put me in something soft.
Because
I'm soft.
Yeah. But all of them, like, I heard.
All of them meaning the judges or minorities. Which way are you going on that?
I really wish prisons did work like that, where they judged you from hardness to softness, and that's how you got.
Yeah, they're like,
sent.
look at him. Look how soft and little he is. All right, come here. You go into a
Send them
Build-A-Bear.
to easy jail.
Yeah, you go into Build-A-Bear workshop.
I listened to Billy Walters. He's the best NFL gambler of all time. His book, and he had to do time for insider trading, which is it seems like the government.
Don't you
just
talk
got
to him? And we were supposed to talk to him, or did we talk to him?
No.
Don't we want to talk to him? Or is he dead?
He's still alive. He's older, but he doesn't do much interviews. But in his book, he described like he had to do the time, and his lawyers like he's a 100 millionaire. So like he lived a nice life. He came up rough, but he was used to being a 100 millionaire, and so he's like, you got to do this couple years in this prison. It's a white collar prison. It's in Jacksonville. So he was like, well, how bad could it be? And he says it's real bad. Comparatively, it's not.
Right.
It's not.
It's just bad.
Society is like, oh, white collar prison. Yeah, go in
Still
there.
bad.
You play some. And he's like, it is horrible. And comparative to his life, and so there is no good prison at all. Like it's no prison that's like when you go in there, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. I'll be here for a
The
couple
worst
years.
prison is
it's all
Donny
bad.
Osmond, Prisoner of Love. It's the worst.
And then there's the Tower of London. You could be locked up in the Tower of London, like all royal stuff right there.
I mean, the real bad one where they send them, obviously is worse than the white collar one, but it's all pretty bad.
Yep. My daughter is here. It seems like a perfect time to use this voicemail.
Okay.
Dan, Tom, I'm listening to the latest BDM show, and Dan, you just told us how Maisie wants to be a Target employee, and this is one of the...
Yeah, so for Halloween, my daughter's costume, we went to Target. She selected it.
Should we bring Maisie in here?
Can you come in here? You
talk
said
to
you wanted to
Maisie.
be on the show. We'll put you on the show. Here.
Andrea is out of town for business.
Yeah, get right there in the corner.
Maisie came in today.
And then get your headphones. They're right behind you. Yep, strap those on. And then that's your microphone right in front of you. Mr. Ross will help you. He knows his way around this. All right, hold on. I got your mic on now. Let me turn your camera on.
Originally, we weren't planning to record on this holiday today, but because of the hurricane, we didn't get a chance to,
In this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero.
I had a feeling Saul was
love
here.
The Sopranos.
I thought that was a Saul Tampano.
No, that was Tony Soprano.
Okay. I thought that was Saul Tampano.
Actual Tony.
Yeah.
How you doing, Maisie?
Good.
What's up, baby boo? How are you?
So, Maisie, tell us why you wanted to be a Target employee for Halloween.
Because Dansby looks like a Target, the Target dog.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense. Dansby looks like a Target dog.
Using your natural resources to your advantage.
Yeah.
I like it.
Also, the laziest costume you could think of, right? It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty lazy.
But it's pretty unique. Like everybody's Harry Potter and the alien holding the boy inflatable.
Was there anything
riding
else
the
you wanted to
T-Rex.
be?
No.
And you went there specifically. I'm not kidding when I say this. We went there specifically for a Target vest. She's like, I want to be a Target.
Where do they sell that?
In the costume aisle. It's in a little package, and it's like Target employee vest. I was like, oh my God, $8, we're out.
Oh,
Mama's
guess
being a Target cart.
Yeah, she's going to be, Andrea's going to be a Target basket.
like a buggy?
Yeah.
Okay, how does that costume work?
Where did she find it?
In Target?
Yeah, it's like it's the little red basket you get for like deodorant.
Yeah.
Oh, the handheld.
Yeah, it's that, but there's a hole in the bottom of it, and she just squeeze her muffin through it.
Okay, like a full-size Target basket?
Yeah. Right?
All right. Well, now what are you going to be?
Yeah, exactly.
What am I going to be?
I think Liquid Death.
Liquid Death. I have an old Liquid Death costume. And then I'm like, I'm the Liquid Death you guys bought at Target. We're really lazy in it out. this
Okay,
year.
well, that's at least kind of in the theme.
Kupo J says I should be I read concrete ball.
To keep suicide bombers from, I don't know. Like, I'm guessing that's who,
I don't
right?
know why they do
Is
that.
to keep crazy people from driving through the front door. You should be the red concrete
Did you
ball.
have any other ideas of costumes that you wanted to be, or was that really the one that's the only thing you thought of, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And is it because you have a secret plan to like dress up in that uniform, go into Target, and steal a bunch of stuff?
No.
No, you
No,
wouldn't
you
steal
never.
anything. No, never. Are you crazy? Oh, no way. No way.
Maisie, has your
Should we tell some embarrassing stories of stuff that we did? Can I tell your story about your joke to Mommy about her Falcon shirt that didn't fit and what you said?
Wait, what?
Remember when she went to put on her Falcon shirt and it didn't fit?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Ollie North all of a sudden.
She's like, listen, this
Yeah.
goes out to
She goes, Falcons, more like Fatkins.
No, come on.
Yeah. Didn't you say that was your joke? It was a good joke.
Is she available for roasts?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was really cutting and mean.
Oh yeah, my sons they bully me and Chris all the time. They're like stiff man.
Yeah.
That's what they call me.
Do you want to talk
Maisie.
to Mr. Tom and Ross about the red bumps on my butt?
Oh come on,
Lots of bumps, right?
Don't let them.
Yeah. Tell them how bad is it? It's bad, right? It's terrible. Yeah, and you've been trying to fix my facial, like
Maisie,
right
that's
here.
not his butt. There's a red dot there, but it's not his butt.
No, she's been trying to, like, in the mornings, like now in the morning, she gets up and she does a workout, and then she takes a shower, and then she wants to do a skincare. She's really into skincare.
Yeah.
She says I have blemishes all over my face. I
Yeah,
look like
yeah.
an old alcoholic. So she's trying to, like, fix my skincare.
Yeah.
Right?
You got some skincare.
I did. Yeah, I did. I got some Molten Brown. I got some lotion.
He's gonna need a lot, Maisie. Like some creams that
Yeah.
you can only get in
special creams.
on the
Like Michael Jackson
black
creams.
web.
Yeah, I'm gonna so Mr. Tom, questions for Maisie.
So
Sorry.
Maisie, I don't know if you have something that a lot of people don't.
Moxie.
which is
Chutzpah.
the chutzpah, the what you can do dance wise, the amount of time you put into it, the drive you have. You realize that is going to make you rich one day, and it's as long as you continue to have that mentality, you're good. And that's as easy as it gets. I tell my
That's
kids.
a hell of a question.
Well, I'm telling Maisie this, so one day maybe my sons will hear. Because I tell Max and Tommy Maisie all the time. I'm like, you know how hard Maisie works every day? Like, she is going to be the CEO of a company one day, or can do whatever she wants because she knows like what hard work means and how much achieving your goals.
Shut up, Mr. Stiff.
That's what they tell me.
Shut up, Mr. Stiff. Dude, what do you want? Do you want to be a CEO of a company? What do you want to do when you grow up? Because you're a lot like Mommy, right? Like, you're very organized and you read and you like to keep like all of your stuff like very, very organized. And I'm not like that, really, am I? Like, I'm different. What would you say I do around the house?
Drink beer.
Yes. I knew it, by the way.
Yeah. This is
I was
for
about
you.
to scream that
Yeah,
out.
this is your Christmas. This is when I bring my daughter in to give Tom his Christmas gift.
I watch football.
Yeah, I do watch football. What else do I do?
You play with Dansby.
I play with Dansby.
Okay.
Yeah. You forgot video games? Lots of video games, right? Yeah. I play more video games than you, right?
I don't really play video games.
No. What do you do most of the time?
Hard work.
Yeah.
You're
working.
living like a frat boy.
I am. I really do.
You drink beer and play video games all day?
Who got you ready this morning?
Myself.
Yeah.
I was about to say Dansby.
Yeah. Who did your hair this morning?
Myself.
Yeah. Who got your clothes on? Yeah. Did you do your own washing and scrubbing and everything? Get clean?
I didn't take a shower.
What?
I don't take ones in the morning.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's your morning exercise routine like, Maisie?
Oh yeah, you do it.
Not that much.
Sometimes you do, but what do
Because
you?
I'm busy.
Yeah. What do you like to do in the mornings though when you do it? You walk on the treadmill. She has a little treadmill.
No, it's Mama's actually.
Yeah, she took Andrea's treadmill, and now she has a little treadmill.
You do some treadmill work in the morning. Oh my God, Maisie! I mean, that is you're gonna be rich. One day, Maisie, let me be your business manager. or at least
she's
give
too
me
smart for that.
Well, I know she is, Rob. But if you don't inception her early, then because maybe here's what happens. This is why athletes let their mom be their manager or whatever, is because they guilt you into doing it. Like a regular manager would be far superior, get you way more money, but you give it to your mom because earlier on in your career, your
you feel
mom,
bad for her because all she has is her cigarette.
when she was 8 years old, she's like, "Let me be your manager one day," and you're like, "Oh, okay." And then next thing you know,
steals all your money.
Yeah.
Poor Jules. She just wanted to play her guitar and let her mom manage her money. Millions of dollars gone.
Do you remember the fight that me and Mommy got into at Mr. Egg's house? What happened?
Steak or not.
Yeah, let's talk about it for Mr. Tom.
What happened?
So we were leaving Jim Colbert's house, who Maisie has always called, since she was very little, Mr. Egg, because he has a big round cone head with spots all over it.
I mean, she didn't come up with that herself.
Yeah, I think you and I did. Yeah, I think that was a Tom and Dan.
She heard you.
Yeah, but
say
she heard us call it. So you started calling him Mr. Egg, and then we got there, and what happened?
And then his dog stole the brush.
Yeah, Mr. Egg's dog is not behaved, so
yeah.
it's just wild over there.
Mr. Egg doesn't need the brush.
Yeah, and then so what else happened?
Then we were leaving, and then you guys were in a fight because I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you were like still talking, and Mama was rushing us, and then you got mad at her.
Yeah, and what did I say?
You're like, "Do you want a stink?"
Yeah, I yelled at her. I was like, "Do you want a steak or not?" It was like that. It was more like that. It was more like that. It was traumatizing for a kid to hear that. Right?
So-
was it traumatizing to you a little bit? Yeah.
We shall hold this.
Is this the day I lose her? This is the day I lose her, right?
I want to talk about work and all that. Not about
let's talk about dysfunction and
screaming that you want a
reality.
steak or not.
Yeah. Do you want a goddamn steak? I'm screaming. Right? And then was Mama crying? No. We just get quiet. We just get real quiet, right? That's when you know we're mad, because we get real quiet, right?
Yeah, she cried when we did my room.
Because she thought she'd bitten off more than she could chew, right?
Yeah, she broke my fan.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Broke my bed.
Yeah, and
then Dad was downstairs just drinking beer, playing video games. And Mom's up there doing work.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the hell are you doing up there? Do you want a steak or not? I'm like yelling up there.
No, you were like, "Do you need to scream this loud? It's not a big deal."
Yeah. I calmed everybody down. I fixed it, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Oh. I thought I calmed everybody down. No? Okay. All right.
So, Maisie, what's your goal the rest of this year? Do you got
You're starting on it today. So what do you start with today? This is an exciting day.
Solo?
Yeah. So today, she gets to go and have her first day meeting with her teacher to do the choreography of her new solo.
Yeah.
You excited about it? Do you know what style of solo it's going to be?
Probably musical theater or lyrical, but usually musical theater.
Why musical theater?
Because I'm good at that.
Yeah, what is musical theater? How would you describe musical theater?
It's kind of like a play or something.
Like Broadway,
like that.
kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you like that kind of stuff, right?
You got a song picked out?
No.
You don't even
pick
know.
It for us.
Yeah, she doesn't know anything. That's why it's so
Interesting.
exciting.
You're not allowed to pick it.
Really?
No.
What if they pick a song you don't like?
It happens.
You just got to deal with it?
Usually it's a song I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's like some old person song, like a lot of that Broadway stuff is,
Sure.
tried and true, so it's usually something we don't know about.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly. But
Maisie, will you teach Max and Tommy that they're never going to get anywhere without practice?
Yeah, practice is important.
Because here's the problem. Like Max, he likes breakdancing, right? The problem is he doesn't want to practice any breakdancing.
Moved to Australia.
And every time...
Damn.
I did say Ray Gunn became the most popular breakdancer in the world.
The most famous.
Yeah. That's
You
all
know who
that's
Ray Gunn
important.
is, right? Do you know who Ray Gun is? Oh, there you go. Didn't make it to her algorithm.
Yeah, well, no one really knows. But if you ask them the name of breakdancer, they may say Ray Gun. They're never going to say any other name.
No.
But I asked Max, I'm like, Max, the only way you're going to get better is practice. And then he tells me, he's like, I got it. Yeah. He's like, I'll come up with a spontaneously day off.
Well, let's talk about that. You know what your weakness is, right? Do you know your weakness?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Turns.
Yeah, but like, what else do you get?
Faces.
Yeah, because you get into your brain, like Daddy. She got this from me. I only give her the best things, which means the worst things. It's when you start thinking, or you really get intent on trying to execute, technically, and then your face, you fall out of looking like you're having a good time, right?
You got to smile while you're dancing.
Yeah, that's all part of it, right?
Okay.
So how have you been working on your faces?
Well, just doing more dance.
Yeah, just practicing, right?
Don't you have to grease up your teeth so
yeah,
keep
I
you smiling?
grease her teeth. Every morning I grease her teeth. I grease up Andrea's teeth too. We are a greasy teeth family.
I think that's something. You put some sort of grease on your teeth.
That's pageants.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
she probably doesn't have to tape herself up either. Yeah.
Like I think, they do something like that. Right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that you have to do for dance. Like you.
Well, sometimes some kids put chapstick on their teat.
Yes, grease your teeth. I know.
Yeah, you know. I told you, Mr.
I
Tom
apologize.
What is happening today?
I know about greasing the teeth. It's all the tricks.
I thought I knew about the kids today, but they're greasing their teeth out there.
You should start saying that in sales. They're like, I'm going to get this guy on the line. I'm going to really grease his teeth.
Also, I know that if you got the money, you could do HGH and become big Baron Trump.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to become the tallest dancer, you can get some HGH, and that's fine.
Should I start taking performance-enhancing drugs, you think?
Yes. Maybe.
No?
Yeah. It'll help his performance.
Yeah.
I play video games better.
Yeah, I would play video. I need to start taking something to do better. Hey,
I don't think height helps you with dancing, does it? Do tall dancers fare better?
Maybe
No.
in ballet. Yeah, there's certain body, geometry I think they're looking for.
It's hard to do tumbles when you're tall.
That's true.
Like, Simone Biles, a tiny
Yeah.
spark plug, get you a tight little ball.
Yeah.
Big, lanky.
You want to learn how to do that's your
spin
goal,
slow.
right? To do a backflip? Weren't you saying that yesterday?
Oh, I know how to do a backflip.
He does.
You want to learn? Your dad didn't tell you that I'm the king of backflip.
Yeah, Castleberry backflip.
Watch a couple videos of him doing it before you accept his tutelage, though.
Well, I can't. I mean, I need a tall structure to jump off of nowadays. I can't. I used to be able to do it off this.
You ever backflipped off a Firewatch tower, Maisie?
I get slow.
Classic dancer style. And now performing the Water Tower backflip is Maisie Dennis, number 865.
Anyway, I'll teach you, Maisie. And then once once you get a little older, we'll get a business. Then I'll show you how to get into business.
What
You'll
would
be
you
rich.
and Mr. Tom have a business in? What would you guys do? What would your business be in?
Seafood. Maisie said she wants to
did.
start a seafood business. But here's the thing,
She
Maisie.
wants to compete with the current. Go right up against her. Right up against her favorite restaurant.
But
No, I'm gonna own the current.
Well, you better tell Mike Smith that.
We can buy it from him.
He'll
be willing to sell it.
It's probably hard to do.
But and also, you don't want to. You just do all the marketing. You'll be doing the flips, opening day,
Dressed in a shrimp costume. Would you do a flip in a shrimp costume?
Yeah. That's the thing. And I'll pretend.
I guess I'm in the shrimp costume.
No. We need Maisie for the marketing. And then you'll be doing some flips opening day. We'll have some
It'll be perfect.
wacky inflatable arm tube men. But we're gonna get all our seafood from black market.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's not gonna,
Retention ponds.
don't eat at it. Don't eat it. It's not, go to the current if you're gonna eat the seafood.
What's your favorite kind of fish to eat, Maisie?
Shrimp.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's a shrimp lady.
Okay.
Yeah, all about the shrimp. Well, we got to get out of here. I got to take you to choreography.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So we will see you tomorrow,
Yes.
and we'll come back on the BDM show. Enjoy.
You know what? Until then, listen to the Orlando Talk Show with me, Ross McCoy. You can find it on any of your favorite podcast apps.
Yes, and if you're not a BDM, as Ross stated, because he's a pro, you can sign up at tomandan.com/registration.
And Ross, you're going to be anywhere?
23rd, I'll be at 12 Talon's Brewery for that Christmas show I was telling you guys about. I'll be appearing as R.L. Stein. And then first and third Saturday at the Bullenbush, it's that comedy showcase I can't say the name of on the radio.
There you go.
We will see you tomorrow.